So similar to the strengths and weakness questions or project questions, even things that have worked, haven't worked, that whole accomplishment, greatest accomplishment and greatest failure type questions, or things that are similar to that. And you want to come prepared beforehand for these kind of questions, because you'll get them. And this is where you want to link these stories into questions of this nature. And the thing with the accomplishment, think back of like your 1, 2, maybe top 3 accomplishments, so you can pull from the right one for this particular job you're interviewing for, or that might work good for that particular job or interview. And think about the accomplishment and be able to tell it real succinctly, and be able to tell it in a way that's very understandable. Maybe you won some type of big award. What was behind that? I was salesperson of the year because I landed these 3 major accounts, and here's the 2 things I did to do that. Or I was able to save the company $1 million. Any of those measurable accomplishments are great, and this is how I did it. And I got an award for that, or I got recognition for it, or I got promoted because of it. Think about those things when you're thinking about your greatest accomplishment. When you think about your greatest failure, don't think about it in personal terms. That's how I would stay away from that. I would be more about, here was a great idea we had that didn't work out. Right? And maybe it's something the company decided not to move forward with your project, or maybe it wasn't implemented fully, or you did your part well, but it wasn't all fully done. The thing is, your greatest failure doesn't have to be you personally, boy, I'm terrible. It could be just something that you were working on as part of a team. And maybe it was a very noble exercise, really great if it was a noble exercise, that just didn't come off. Business people understand that. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's always super accomplished in every single thing they do. Just make sure that your greatest failure isn't something that's going to knock you out for this job, or seems to be something that's kind of like a terrible thing for the job you're interviewing specifically. And if more that's couched in an organizational failure versus your own, hey, even the better. So, think about these. I'm going to leave this one for you as far as some specific examples you want to come up with, because this one's really very, very personalized. But think big accomplishment, things around awards, and then failures. Think about more company-oriented failures that maybe you were part of versus maybe a very personal lacking on your part.